Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. You know, the environment is advancing so quickly. There are so many new modalities that are available now, and there's so many competition out there. In fact, there are 9,000 biotech companies out in the landscape currently. As we think about that, there's a wonderful ecosystem because there's so much innovation that's coming out. Let's take non-small cell lung cancer as an example. Over the last 20 years, there have been over 15 different new drugs, and probably more than that, just for treatment of non-small cell lung cancer with 6 different mechanisms of action. You can think about how much advancement and the improvement for patients. So in terms of guidance for biotech companies as a starting point, I think for biotech companies, what you have to think about is, what does it mean for the patient? Start with the patient first. What is the therapeutic area that you want to approach? What is the disease area that you want to approach? Because I think the beginning is the patient. Then you think about how advanced is the science and how differentiated is that science. You think about the science, and do you have a novel mechanism? Because with 9,000 biotechs out there, you have to know that you're differentiated from your competition. Then the next question people often ask me is it a platform or is it a molecule that we should be focusing on? I think you start with a disease first, you make sure science is your foundation, and actually as you think about the different modalities is an enabler. It doesn't really make a difference if it's a small molecule, a monoclonal antibody, ADC. Lots of people talk about the new modalities, but make sure you choose the modality that enables your drug to work the best. And then the route of administration is a really nice to have. So that's the way I think about the entire ecosystem and some advice for some of the new biotechs that are starting up. I think this BioAsia Taiwan conference is great. I've met so many people, not only from Taiwan, but outside, Japan, from Australia, from the US, from Europe. This is a wonderful conference to bring people together and really to showcase what's happening in the Asia region and really to collaborate, find out about what's happening in the broader ecosystem. I think you have to keep an eye on the competition, what's happening in China, what's happening in Europe. So this is a wonderful opportunity to bring everyone together and to think about how you would advance the science that you're bringing forward. Yeah, so you are talking about the perfect confluence of the different players that are involved in discussions. One is yourself, the biotech company, one is the government, and one is the funding source, which often is the venture capital firm. So you want that public-private partnership. And the common ground is the patient and the disease. So where do we start really? Well, we start with the disease and understanding where that disease is and how do you actually tackle the standard of care as you move forward. How do you work with governments? Well, governments actually want the same thing that you do to improve care for patients. And what do the venture capital firms want? They actually want to make sure that your drug actually can help patients, and that's why they're willing to fund you. So I think it's a perfect confluence in all of them, and when you can bring those 3 different pieces together, that's how you can actually get your company to move forward. Yeah, I think that's a really important consideration. And the new technologies out there, a lot of people are concerned about pricing and the effects of that. But realize that there are lots of new therapies out there. And just like the monoclonal antibodies that started back in the early 2000s, the prices do come down over time. And with that, you'll see that even with ADCs, cell therapies, the prices for those will come down. And you'll have to work together, and this is the advancement in technologies that will be able to bring that down so that it's affordable for everyone. Yesterday, I gave a talk at it was a BioTrek. The BioTrek, demo day yesterday, and I talked a lot about what's the current ecosystem. The current venture capital ecosystem is very challenging in terms of finding money, but there are some real bright spots, which is in China, in Asia actually, there seems to be a lot of funding. At the same time, you have to consider that there's a lot of competition out there especially in the new technology areas. I would say focus on your area of expertise and your, sorry about that. Yeah. Focus on your expertise and focus on your biology, but keep in mind the competition that's out there, because you have to ensure that you can execute, move as quickly, if not faster than others. And I think the last step is ensuring that you do have an exit strategy so that you can partner with potentially other larger organizations such as larger biotechs or pharmaceutical companies.